It's not in response to my question. This was a comment that was left on one of the YouTube videos. And I responded, but I thought it was it highlights a few different things. The person says, I tried all my life to be kind and sweet to everybody, but my heart hurts from everyone taking me for granted. So there's two things going on here. One is trying to be sweet and good. I don't try and be sweet and good at all, because I know I am naturally sweet and good. It'd be like me trying to be a man. I don't have to try. It's just I wake up in the morning and this is the body I find myself in. It's the same. Like once you know that your nature is to be sweet and kind, then you're not trying. You're not trying to be that. You don't need to try and be something that you just naturally are. You don't need. There's no effort required. But if you feel like, God, I have to try, that's usually because there's something covering your nature. Old beliefs, feelings of lack, I have to protect myself, or there's, loads of things that can cover it over. But if you are trying to generate this kindness and sweetness as if it's not natural to you, it's like hard work. And it's inherently going to make you resent people. Because when you're engendering it or trying to make yourself be it, it's like, well, here, I'm trying very hard to be nice and you're not. How dare you? So that's one thing. Don't try and be sweet and kind. Realize that you are. It's your nature. It's your nature to be like that. Then the other thing is about getting hurt feelings when you're being taken for granted. That's the flip side of it. Because we get hurt feelings because we have expectations. And expectations are a bit like moss, You just slowly grow. You don't notice them growing, but then suddenly you're covered in moss. And how you know you've got expectations is you've got hurt feelings. Because here I am being all sweet and kind, and no one's noticing. Well, no one's noticing how sweet and kind I am. No one's noticing how generous I am. No one's noticing how loving I am. If you were really loving, it wouldn't matter. You wouldn't care. Because you'd be like a bird. You'd be just singing because you were singing. You were just being loving because it's your nature. You don't want anything from anybody. You don't want anything back. You're just doing it because it's your nature to do it. And how you know that some little expectation is crept in is when you get hurt about something. And you're like, but I'm love you. You're supposed to love me back. I'm nice to you. You're supposed to be nice to me too. So it's kind of like what I was saying to the other person. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to go, okay, I've got some expectations there. I can let them go. Because the people who I'm upset at, they're oblivious. What am I going to do? Run after them going, take me, what's the opposite to being taken for granted? Stop taking me for granted. Grant me. Oh, I don't know. It's a funny expression. Validate me. Value me. People are going to value you or they're not. Like, it really doesn't have much to do with you. And you can't make them value you if they don't. You can manipulate them into behaving in a certain way. But, that requires a huge amount of energy. It's not really that loving, is it? Like, if you love somebody but they don't love you back in the same way, and most people don't, they love you back in their own way. So you're always going to get these, like, sparky, bouncing, electric shocks of being hurt feelings. You can't make them love you back the way you want them to. So much better to kind of discover inside yourself what all these little expectations are and the different ways that you think you should be loved, and let them go, because they're not real. Because love doesn't want anything. You know, you just have to look at a baby. So always go back to babies, because it's very pure and simple and uncomplicated. If you come across a baby, particularly if it's your own baby, you don't want anything from them. This love just pours out of you towards them. And it's beautiful, and they're beautiful, and it's the most natural thing. And if you think about what you feel about your partner or somebody that you love and maybe doesn't love you back the way you want, it'd be like looking at a baby and saying, you're supposed to love me. I'm not going to love, this isn't a one-way street here. It's not just all coming from me. You're supposed to love me back. You're supposed to be nice to me. I'm cooing at you. You could coo back at me a little bit. I got the clothes that you're wearing. So, maybe smile a bit, maybe laugh a bit, please. Fulfill your end of the bargain. I mean, when you put it like that, it's ridiculous. Who would say that to a child, to a baby? But that's what we say to adults. That's how we relate to adults. And then we get all hurt and upset and, you didn't like me the way I wanted to be liked. So when you let go of the expectations, you're just free to love people the way you love them, without putting anything on them, without wanting anything back. And for as long as you're wanting something back, you're not really loving them. It's conditional. Now, I totally understand that what I'm saying is not easy to live. But again, if you listen to me, I'm guessing you're interested in consciousness. And it's relationships like that are a great way of seeing how you are not living your nature as much as you could. So you can use it to help you do that.